But anyways, it's really nice to meet you. By the way, Che. You can call me Junior. My pronouns are they
Junior,
them. Um,
Haven.
I'm a big fan of your comedy, of your content. It's really really relatable to me. You're also like the first like comedian that I've seen actually like step through that boundary, and so it's actually like I don't know. You're like a sort of like a role model in a way for me. But yeah, thank you for doing this. Thank
Well,
you.
hey, I really appreciate that. It was something that was very unexpected when I started doing this. Just to see the amount of people who were like, "Hey, I've gone through that. That's happened to me." Because that's the funny thing about like the name that I go under my TikTok or well, most of my TikTok, my undocumented ass is that I didn't know who else out there would be like, "Yeah, I'm also undocumented." So that's why I kept the joke about myself, like, "Oh, look at what I've had to go through," and then to see other people be like, "Hey, I've gone through that too," has been like super shocking, and it's been very cool. It's been very very rewarding.
Awesome. Well, real quick, let's real quick shout out all your socials because yeah, like you said, you have a TikTok following that's growing in size at my undocumented ass, and then you also have a podcast you just started with Drop Tent Video Network as well. And
Yeah,
I got done watching it today. All with another pretty awesome creator that's doing some good things for good causes. Over at Adelitas, I believe. Yeah.
yeah,
That
Adelita's
was
apparel.
yeah, it was a really
Gotcha.
awesome. It was a really awesome listen. I really really like your podcast.
Thank you. Yeah, it's and that's been so fun too, like getting to pick people from like my TikTok and be like, "Hey, do you want to do this podcast?" and then listen to their story and yeah, and it's also really cool because you we're in a community. You know what I mean,
Yeah.
Junior? We're in a community. So when you start hearing people tell their stories, you'd be like, "Wait, that happened to me." Like that's crazy. Like that's so crazy that we have all these little nuances in common.
Yeah.
As far as my socials go, yeah, my undocumented ass on TikTok, Instagram, and my podcast. Yeah, it was just one episode. It's gonna be every second and fourth Thursday. Next episode drops this upcoming week on what is the 25th? Something? Yeah, I think it's the 25th. Yeah, and it's my undocumented ass podcast. When you put the podcast up, like it takes a little while to get up on Spotify and
Hmm.
Apple and all that stuff, but it'll be up on the on iTunes
Yeah. It's also up on
and
YouTube. That's where
Spotify
I
and stuff.
listened to it. Really good
Yeah,
quality. It
it's on
was it
YouTube.
was a good watch.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah. The Drop Tent Media people, they were super kind to let me use the space for free. Like
Oh,
they were
that's
like, listen,
sick.
we believe. Yeah, they were like, we believe in what you're doing. We love
Mhm.
the concept of the podcast, and it's funny too. And that's a great thing about it. It's that like I recently did a stand up show for a lot of like undocumented Latinx people and stuff like
Damn,
that.
that's awesome.
And yeah, it was really cool. I went out to Texas and it was my first time there and to actually be in a state where undocumented is like a super huge,
Like
like
very relevant. Like very
very
real.
relevant. Yeah, and it was amazing to do my stand up, do all the jokes I have about being undocumented
How
and
was
having
how was the
like
reception to them? Were there any jokes that you were like maybe went too far, or did you like actually like toe that line a little bit?
no, no, because the thing about me is that like my stand up really is personal stuff. So when I'm telling you like a joke, it's just me telling you like a story that happened about being undocumented.
Hmm.
So it was just like my and it went great. It was actually one of the best receptions I've ever had because any other time I've done my stand up act, I've usually done it for like white people.
Oh God.
So when it's like, hey, I'm undocumented, they're like, oh, what does that mean exactly? And I'm just like, oh, shut up. Like, but to do it in a room with like 100 people that you were like, I'm undocumented, and everybody in there was like, either I am or I know, so what was the most shocking thing was coming off stage and having people come up to me and be like, how do you laugh at that? Like, how do you take what's been
Oof.
happening to you and actually laugh? And I didn't know that it was like, like a survival mechanism that I had for
Yeah,
like my
just a
whole
little bit,
life.
just a slight like sprinkling of mental illness in there to sort of protect yourself. But like, I mean, that's also super common in our communities.
Exactly. We're very funny people about the worst things. Like yeah, like growing up, there's always a lot of joking around and clowning because like I'm trying to write a one person show. So,
It's
you
awesome.
start to think a lot about the people in your life, and I realized a lot of the men in my family are like alcoholics who are like funny alcoholics. And you realize that playing the fool, playing the idiot, like is a survival
Yeah, they
mechanism,
hide the
like
pain.
they grew up in dictatorships where
Hmm.
if you asked too many questions, you were seen as a problem. So the best personality you could have was the drunk who never asked any question.
Yeah, if they can't take you
So
seriously, they won't literally kill you and your family.
they won't kill you. Oh, he's just a drunk. He's funny. He's goofy. He's always telling jokes. You know what I mean? He's fine. He's harmless.
It
So that's the kind of upbringing that I had. So it was a survival mechanism.
it's really interesting the type of generational traumas that really are like prevalent throughout our communities because like it goes back like even farther than that of just like our indigenous societies, our all of our societies literally doing what they can to survive against like just forces that are being thrust upon them for no reason. It's just
Yeah,
yeah.
no, it's yeah. The more I read, the more I'm like, because the thing I like about my TikTok too, I don't also just want to make it about like myself. I want to
Hmm.
try and educate. So I've been reading a lot, like way more about like the immigration system and just genocides. And I'm like,
Yep.
okay, where does it start? And it's just like,
It gets
oh my,
worse. It just gets
it gets
worse.
worse.
And
It
like the
gets
farther back
worse.
you go, it's like nuances of worse too. It's just like different levels of degrading of like, okay, we can't let them like have their own culture. We literally have to stamp out all traces of it and literally transform it using like the church, using everything we can. And so like
Everything.
it's literally just so deep in our society. So like one of the things that I
And
wanted
it's
to talk
still
about,
going on
yeah,
today, which is
100%.
crazy. Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry. What?
One of the big things that I really like about your podcast is, like you said, and your TikTok content in general, is you're very vulnerable and like very upfront and real with all your experiences, and like in our community, with our intersectionality, as like male presenting just figures. We know the pressure of having to present as like the macho Mexican like you're not really allowed to be like soft. You're not allowed to like during your podcast like cross your legs at the minimum, like just during like
Wow, you're watching me.
yeah, yeah, dude.
No, but yeah, go ahead. I want to hear what you have to say because I think I know where you're going with this.
Yeah, like we are just not allowed to literally just feel our feelings and like share our feelings with our family because then they look down upon us because it's just like so like in the culture that you're not allowed to just
Hmm.
feel. And so I really like that part about you. And it's as an elder for I don't mean that in like any bad way, just as in wisdom and as you've been more years on this floating space rock. And so just I really like that about that. And could you just speak about that of your experience just trying to grow up and presenting like that and like trying to figure out whether or not like where you were allowed to or you weren't allowed to, how you had to pretty like just your experience with that, if you could.
Yeah, and it's so funny because I didn't expect for when you're so many hours in front of the camera making TikToks, or I guess performing, I just stopped thinking about how people are perceiving me. I just kind of just wanted to be myself. And so I'm trying to put this all together for you because it is something that I'm trying to figure out myself too,
Mm-hmm.
of just like so when I did the show in Texas, a lot of it happened, but I had somebody who was like a public relations person.
Nice.
She was like, "Hey, call me, when you get back to New Jersey. I want to talk to you about your act and what I thought about it." So I was like, "Oh, cool, that'd be great insight." And the woman said, um, "One thing that I like about your show was that you're very feminine." And
Interesting.
I was like, okay. And it was I'll be honest with you, it was the first time where I didn't take it as an insult.
That's really
And
nice.
I really was like, thank you. And then, I actually had the video of that night and I realized I was very much
That's
like when I was telling a
awesome.
story, I was very animated and open, and flowing. I call it flowing. I was flowing
You
that
were
night and I
feeling
was
yourself.
yeah, I was beautiful up there, you know? And she goes, no, you're very feminine. I want you to know that it's weird because I am cis hetero, like
Like
I
we're both a similar stature. We present as intimidating to the white older folk.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Like I'm very much like no. Like, yeah. I don't even know how to. I never really thought about these things too
It's
much,
yeah,
but
it's a
it's
thing to
yeah. So you're
describe.
making me think a lot. So we're working this together. We're working this
No
together,
problem. You're
Junior.
actively breaking the barriers. It's okay. It's okay.
I love it. I love because I really want to try and use my privilege, because that's something that I've had to learn a lot. Is like I do have privileges of being like, yeah, I'm I'm a straight man. I've always dated women, so I've never been ostracized in that sense. When it came to getting my immigration status figured out, even temporarily, I got to meet a woman and marry her. That was those were the issues I didn't have to worry about in this body. So
Hmm.
so when the woman was like, you're very feminine, it kind of broke open a lot of things because my whole life, like I was actually called the F word all through
Yeah,
junior high school.
I also really connected to that part too, during your podcast because that's also that I something I went through and I was like, yeah, nope, they're for no reason, just kids.
Yeah, yeah,
Sorry to interrupt. Keep
and
going.
no, and it was just kind of like, and then the woman asked me something. She goes something that like I had been asked before, but I never answered it honestly, because she already called me feminine. She goes like, "Who was your favorite comedian growing up?" And I was like, honestly, it was Eddie Izzard. Like I love them. I thought Eddie Izzard was the most beautiful, first of all, most beautiful, like, just human being with the makeup and the dresses, and also just like that cool improv
Hmm.
comedy kind of like, which is actually like I didn't realize this. I actually mimic most of my act like Eddie Izzard.
That was one
I
of the
didn't.
questions I had for you. Like, what were like some of your like comedic like influences? Like, what sort of inspired you to like with your style?
But that's also something like I would present to people. Like when people would ask me, like dudes would ask me, like, "What's your favorite movie?" or "Who's your favorite comedian?" I'd be like Chris Rock and The Matrix. But inside, it's like Grease and Eddie Izzard. Do you know what I mean? Like I was
Oh, that's tough. We want okay. You need to get to the point where you can be honest with not only
yeah,
yourself, the world, because
the
that's
world.
those barriers are things we are generational curses we have to get through, and as not public figures, but as people who are trying to make a good influence on our communities and like the younglings. I'm
Yeah,
25, by the way. You're 33. Thank you, by
yeah,
the way, for again, like you said, doing your podcast. It was very. I'm going to also be doing some like little clips, by the way, of it right here. Like before you were talking and just like referring to what I was, like watching for you, like in from your podcast, if that's okay. Just cutting a couple of
yeah.
clips here and there,
That'd be amazing.
and then also,
I appreciate you doing that kind of work to
yeah,
to to put my work out
yeah, no
there.
problem. That's the sort of thing. That's the main reason I want to do this type of little video series. Just to try and promote the people that I really enjoy their content and think they're doing good work and want to first just pick their brain and
Mhm.
just really benefit from your wisdom, and then just help promote you because that's the good thing to do.
I appreciate that. Thank you. And yeah, and it just means a lot that you like notice the way I was sitting because I would get a lot of shit for like sitting with my legs crossed.
Oh gosh.
But yeah, like just all these things or I'll never
Like for
forget this. Like I actually talked
existing.
about for existing. Like I remember one time like when I was very young, my uncle I was trying to explain something that happened with the garbage.
Mhm.
And I'm Dominican dude from like the island, whatever. And it was something with the garbage, and I was explaining to him that the raccoons had gotten in, and it actually wasn't my fault.
Something
And he
reasonable,
just looked
something reasonable.
something reasonable, very reasonable. And he looked at me and he went, "Shut up! You talk like a bitch.
Oh my
Why can't
gosh.
you just say what the fuck you gotta say?" And then I was like, because things are not as simple as me explaining to you in 3 words. I have. And he's like, stop talking like a bitch. And I remember even as a kid going, I think you're wrong, and I think I remember like him and me thinking like me going like, I think the fact that you're saying I talk like a bitch is actually not a problem. I think the fact that women explain things is not a
Like
problem.
there's
You know what I
there's a
mean?
multitude of things wrong with that, and like I'm a child. Like there's like so many things wrong with that. Like
Yeah, yeah. I just understood that he was not putting a lot of stuff together right, and I was very happy to be able to put some of it together.
wow,
You know,
that's a very real experience. What age were you there? Did you say 8?
No. I was probably like 14. It was like probably
14.
like high school. Like
Still,
yeah. So it was like
that's very dramatic. Still,
yeah,
that's rough.
yeah. But yeah, I guess I'm lucky that it didn't like harden me. Be like, yeah, I should speak less. I was like, no, I like speaking. Like I like
Good.
talking. I have a lot of words to say.
Yeah, our voices are important. But no, yeah.
Mhm.
I dealt with similar issues. One thing that I know a lot of people that come from our communities grow up with is just parents that drink a lot, and that's because
Mhm.
they work hard, and so they have to you know take the time off that they have. They use it for what they like and what they helps
Mhm.
dull the pains of having to really work pretty hard jobs most of the time.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, it was rough because sometimes at those parties they get very rowdy. Like when the couple like Mexican families get together that like all know each other, and then like all the uncles come over, and it's just it sucks being at varying levels of age in those parties, and
Mhm.
just
Mhm.
seeing just all the different issues, seeing just like the way women get treated, seeing the way how just the just
Always some kind of tension.
yeah.
Always some kind of tension. It was never like a real fun like. It was, yeah, any party that I remember, there was always some kind of tension between some couple or somebody almost showing up or something.
And
Yeah.
then when the alcohol started flowing, that's when like they had started having fun, and then eventually, as people do, they black out, and then lots of times people get rowdy, people get punchy, and as a taller, skinnier dude, they go up to you, and you you get challenged to fights. You have to be the one to put down fights when they're getting rowdy, and like
Mhm.
literally all the aunts, all the women are just crying because they're back to teenagedom, and just stuff like that. And so I just wanted to share that a little bit about myself, and just um, just show that just alcohol is a big issue in our community. Do you have
Oh no, yeah, no,
any
I
stories
mean,
like
both my
that?
parents. No, yeah, no, look, both. I mean, my dad. You're kind of helping me a lot of the kind of themes that are running through my one person show. No, my dad
No
is
spoilers.
you
No,
know
no
what's
worries. No need spoilers. But
no,
yeah.
I'm still working it out. No, I had that issue confront a lot in my life with alcoholism, and the issue was that like, I always I hated because like a lot of things you don't figure out till you're older, but
100%.
my dad, right, would always try to justify his alcoholism by saying I only drink on Friday and Saturday night,
Just
right?
weekends.
So look, just weekends, just Friday, Saturday nights. Sunday through Monday, I am a dentist and I am this holier than thou man. But the problem is that on Friday and Saturday nights, he would get so drunk
Mm-hmm.
that he, would ruin his entire life.
Mm-hmm.
Like cheat on my mother and then get into fights and gamble money away. And if Friday and Saturday nights, like you can't judge me. I'm only bad Friday and Saturday nights. Like it's so, when my parents got, there wasn't a divorce when the whole
Yeah, our
debacle of them
it
separating
that's another
happened.
big issue. Another big issue in our community. They don't the couples that want to get divorced, they never really get divorced. And if anything,
Mm.
they like move away from their families, or like sort of split up. They just start sleeping in separate
Yeah.
rooms. It's
Yeah.
an actual epidemic. There's so many like literal generational curses that are just like
Yeah.
viewed as okay because like that's our like our culture, quote quote.
Yeah, I know, and it's just funny too because like my mom my whole life will be like, "You're crazy." She'll call me crazy, like you're crazy," and then I'd be like, "Maybe I should go to a psychiatrist." She'd be like, "You're not crazy." And I'm like,
Dude,
What the fuck?
literally,
Like
it's like
I'm
you go
crazy?"
to your parents being like, "Hey, I think I might have like depression, anxiety." They're like, "Oh, really? No, I think you just have to like work harder, maybe like just work a little harder, get a second job. Just like you're not depressed, you
Yeah,
just have time."
you need a girlfriend, and then they'll call
Literally.
you crazy all fucking day, and they're like, you're worthless, you're lazy, and you're like,
Ugh,
maybe there's something wrong with all this. Why I'm being lazy? No, it's like no winning. It's maddening. It's
literally.
maddening. It's absolutely maddening, and it's yeah. No, I'm dealing with my family like especially like I don't know. Where you're from?
So I'm originally I was born in Mexico City, El DF. That's now changed, like it's like actual Mexico City, or like the name's changed
Okay.
officially. But no, yeah, I came over to the U.S. To Idaho when I was 4 years old, and
Oh
since
wow. Okay.
then I've just been in Idaho, surrounded by white people and Mormons. I am now 25, about to turn 26 in like a week, and
Wow.
I've been married for a couple of years to the love of my life, who's an amazing person, who's very welcoming and opening, and helped me decolonize myself. Because pretty much like
Oh.
the first like 18 years of my life, I pretty much consider myself a white male, and I am not
Uh-huh.
a white male. I am a six
Mm-hmm.
foot tall brown person with long hair and indigenous features.
Is your girlfriend what's your girlfriend? Or
She's
your
half
wife, excuse me, wife.
my wife. She is half white, half Japanese, half Hawaiian. And so
Oh,
quarter Hawaiian, quarter Japanese, and then half white.
and she's a US citizen?
Yes, she is, but it's so
Oh,
incredibly
okay.
expensive to like do that the paperwork and to do all that stuff. We're just currently waiting on the DACA stuff and doing that kind of stuff, trying to save up money, seeing if we can do one of the two options, whatever gets done first. But yeah,
Yeah, no, it's people don't understand how much that money situation is also it's
it's
bad.
rough. It's
It's
bad.
bad, man. I need like I need a good lawyer if I even want to try to attempt my next move. So
Exactly.
no,
Like
and
that's the other thing. If I can get you back, or if another point, there's so many issues, so many things that we can talk about, like stuff like that, about like to try and bring forth help to the community, to try and have like good experiences, bad experiences. Because I've also dealt with some immigration lawyers, good and terrible, and so
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
it's really just a grab bag of so many issues that really are in our community.
Yeah,
It's bad.
it's I'm reading this book called Borders and Rules,
Hmm.
and it is, oh my God, it breaks down not just like America's immigration
Oh yeah.
policies, but it expands out into, which is a new way I'm seeing it for the first time, of like how America gives money to Mexico and
Yep.
Guatemala and El Salvador to keep people there. So it's like anybody who's trying to escape oppression isn't just fighting America, it's fighting every single country in the way that's being funded by America. It is.
It's such a deep system at this point in time. It's actually literally evil. It's like not even joke.
Yeah.
It's like cartoony levels of evil.
And it is just, if you're not part of it, if you're not, and what's crazy is too is like, most of Americans can't even travel anyways because they're poor and don't have a passport.
Yep.
So they have no idea what any kind of travel outside of their own little state is. Like I'm actually like I'm no lie, like one of the things that I count as a full blessing is the fact that, like, for some reason when I was 18, I was dumb enough to think I could be a stand-up comedian. So I started hitting the road undocumented because I would just get other comedians to drive. I'll be like,
Mm-hmm.
"Yo, man, like, you got a
Nice.
car? I'll give you $100, drive me to Ohio." And I got to like meet people, white people from all around this country, who are like, "Yep, I was born in Cincinnati, never left Cincinnati." I'm like, "Are you
Jeez.
fucking kidding me? Are you saying you have no idea what it's like to leave your state? So you're gonna fucking look at me and tell me, why did I leave my country the right way,
Yep.
you dumb fuck?
It's
You've
like
never even left your
it's
state."
like being born, not really a golden ticket, but literally being born with some freedoms, being born with choices, and then being like, "Nah, I'm gonna
Yeah,
lobotomize myself."
it is. No, it is maddening. Like when I meet a white person, like, I've never left my hometown, like, we're not gonna be friends. We're not gonna be friends. I'm gonna be kind to you because I need you to buy my album, but I'm not gonna be your friend, bro. It is
Yeah.
just, no, it's crazy, and that's the thing, like, that it's also like I'm stuck in this limbo where I'm like, I have to spend so much money to like get to the next place, but I'm just kind of like, yeah, I'm fucking tired of it. Like, I'm fucking tired of it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just exhausted by the whole system.
Mm-hmm. It's that's an end product. That is one of the things that
Hmm.
is meant to happen, because they don't want people to succeed. They don't want it to be
Hmm.
easy. Anyways,
Hmm. I'm a, oh, go ahead.
uh, I I wanted to shift the talk a little bit, to a little bit more current day, a little bit more to your day job ish, if that's okay talking about.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because like I said, I enjoy your content. You make very relatable content. Some of your biggest TikToks have that have gone viral have been about your experience in healthcare. If you want to talk about
Hmm.
that a little bit.
Yeah. It's it's actually the reason why I'm kind of stuck where I'm at in my
Hmm.
immigration life as well. I'm a nursing assistant. I've been a nursing assistant since I was 18. I got my
Wow.
certificate like when all my papers were in order for like a season,
Hmm. Yeah, like
and
when it
you know
like
how it
during
is.
that period of time when you're not like you it's not safety. It's just like a stress that's no longer at the forefront of your brain.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like the Indiana Jones kind of like the door's almost closing. You got to
Yes.
get the last little thing before you get. Oh, I forgot my hat. Phew. Like you know what I mean? Like
Yep.
so that's what it feels like. So I got my CNA certificate while I was like between status, and then I lost my status, and then but I had my certificate. Like I was like, oh, I am
Hmm.
a nursing assistant. So I decided to use fake papers, and I had to use fake papers for a few years.
Hmm.
And then went through a lot of the meetings, and it's a very complicated story,
Yeah.
but I got uh, basically like I got my green card through marriage, but
Hmm.
then like now the US government found out that I lied when I was young a bunch of times.
Yeah, about
So
the
now they're like, oh,
yeah,
we might have to take that away from you, young man.
it's
you
a
know
common thing in our community, sadly, that for and especially under the administrations that are doing it. By the way, it's
yeah,
really
like
I'm a poli sci major. I haven't
okay.
graduated yet because college is so damn expensive. I've had to take a break for a while. But yeah, it's just really tough to see just deportations and just immigration getting harsher and harsher when people that are quote quote pro immigration do literally everything but.
Yeah, but pass laws that actually help out. So I'm stuck in that limbo. So that's what's kind of like really fucked up about being in healthcare right now is because so I wasn't even a nursing assistant anymore when the pandemic hit.
Hmm.
I had been a full-time stand-up comedian. I was on the road. I was doing all that. Then the pandemic hits, and
Yeah.
I went back to the work because I knew that people were suffering. Like I was like
Yeah. Because you're a
I
good person
actually
at heart and you can help people.
yeah, so I renewed all my licenses very quickly. I was very thankful that there was like no fees because they needed people to come back to the medical field so quickly. And I went back in there, and they were also paying really well, so I'm not gonna act
Yep,
like
that
it was all
pandemic pay.
valor. Yeah, the hazard pay was very lovely for a little while there. I got like, yo, no lie, like in 9 months, like I got rid of all my credit card debt. Like that's why like I
Yep.
saved up enough money to finally like talk to a lawyer and do all
Yep.
that.
That's
And
sick.
then
That's amazing.
yeah, I was like, oh my God, so much stuff. It was terrible, but
It
I
sucks
was using
having
it
to
to
put
my
yourself
advantage.
at risk at that point, really, to like literally save yourself from debt, but like literally, it's for a good cause. Thank you so much for doing that.
Yeah, thank you. And it's also like, man, it's also crazy though, because before the pandemic, we were really very all comfortable with like 12, $13 an hour if that's
Mm-hmm.
what we were getting. And then within like one day or two, people were like, we pay $50 an hour now. You're like, what? You guys are
It
paying that much for a
shows.
job that I was making 12 bucks an hour for years?
It's crazy. Like the
It's
amount of money
fucking
they
insane.
actually have and how much money they hoard because they're like, no, they don't need they don't ask for it. They don't know that we can pay this much. Like it's literally common in every industry. It is horrific.
Yeah, and and that's what was like, yeah, it was so bad because like, I was okay, I'm working by making money, and then for the first time, like I'm like, yo, look how quickly you could pay off everything if you're actually making a decent wage. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? You don't have to kill yourself. I was actually enjoying life. So
Got
this
free
is like
time.
actually yeah, and I went to this lawyer and I was like, hey, look, I'm a green card holder and I'm ready to move on to possibly apply for citizenship. And this was like what was maddening is because like, I was working during the pandemic as a CNA and I felt like I was doing my duty as an American citizen.
Mm-hmm. Like yeah,
But
like
and
doing
then
that whole thing of like doing your duty of like doing what we're supposed to do to actually be okay in the eyes of not only like the government but like literally the people that hate us, which we shouldn't
yeah,
have to do, but like we have to.
but yeah, exactly. And then, I'm talking to the lawyer and this lawyer just explains to me like, oh well, because I'm working on this thing where like being undocumented my whole life, and my parents coming from a dictatorship, they're pathological liars, and I'm a pathological
Yeah.
liar.
Mm-hmm.
So I've had a very hard time with the truth. And a few years ago, I started like living by this code of ethics that I'm like I just want to tell the truth. Like I don't even want to waste my brain
Mm-hmm.
trying to come up with lies because then you have to remember the lies,
The
and it's
truth is
literally
so much
just
simpler and just
so
it
simple,
makes life easy because people it
so
also makes
simple.
makes it very easy to recognize like the people that are actually like That it's a weird term, but like real, the real people
Yeah,
that care about
exactly.
others.
And that was like, so when the woman asked me, she was like, have you ever lied before to get a job when you weren't a
Yep.
citizen? Every other time I know as an undocumented person, the answer is
Like
no.
literally what our parents, what everyone in our culture tells us to do is like, hey, you lie, you get
You
your
lie.
papers, you get it done, you lie, you just whatever, it's under the rug.
You lie.
But then because it's bad to
And that's
lie,
really
and
fucked up. That's really fucked up to
it
tell a
is.
kid you can lie to the system. You can lie. That messes you up when you're like, well, what can I not lie to?
Yeah, it's like what? So lying is okay? It's like no, it's not, but it is to that
But it
white
is.
person. It's like what?
Yeah, to
It's
that.
like but
Yes,
it's like not okay though in any capacity really
it's
because it
not.
fucks up relationships and it's fucked up your relationship with the United States of America with 3 Ks.
Yeah. So yeah. So like, so when she asked me, she was like, "Have you ever lied before?" I know the answer is supposed to be no, but with my code of ethics,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "Yes, I have." But I did it at 19 to be a CNA, and I'm not lying now. But I'm a CNA now during a global pandemic to help out. Like they can't see that as like, as man, look at
Yeah.
this guy. Yeah, he lied, but look at the job he's doing
Like
now.
honestly,
The
it's the
the
best
job.
chance you have. Like literally, you're a hero, quote quote. Like literally, it's just like it's good in all things. You're not lying. They're asking you an honest question. You're like, yeah. It's like, of course, they could be like asking with it like while winking because they're lawyers, but at the same time,
Yeah.
it's not the same. It's rough having to
So
grow up like this.
she was just like, "Listen, you lied to get your green card. You shouldn't even have that. So the best bet is for you just not to move forward.
Mm-hmm.
And in 20, because my thing expires in 2024, they're like, we don't even know if you should apply for a green card in 2024." And
We
I'm just
might
like,
cut this part and
no, this is all. Just
Are
leave
you
it all in because
sure?
I want people to understand. No,
Okay,
this is this
I
is the
just
system. If you don't
it
tell
is
people
it's
this,
so broken, but I also
then
love you and I don't want to put you at risk because
you're
assholes are
not putting me
assholes.
at risk
Okay,
because I need
perfect.
them to show. Because if they deport me, I need them to know this is why they did it to me.
Okay,
This is the kid. This is a story. This
literally.
is why. I mean, and I
Okay.
can't. I don't. I'm not. The one thing that I just really am like. I'm not unique.
Okay.
I'm not special.
Okay.
So these
Okay, yes
stories are
and no.
happening to other
Each
people.
person individually is special. You are special. You are
Yes, but
unique.
my experiences aren't that special, unique. Like others are
Correct.
going through
The
this,
system is
and it's
completely broken.
this system. Yeah. So leave it in.
No,
Let
okay,
people
I
know what
will.
it
I will,
is.
but
Yeah.
please just promise me the language that you use, like even like towards yourself, it does matter. So you do matter, okay? So
I
your
matter.
story
Yes, you're
does
right.
matter. It's not just the experience, the like your the bad experiences, the trauma that is worthwhile. It is your good and just you as a person that is worthwhile, okay?
I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
no problem. But the reason why I bring that up, your day job, I normally do cover just like news and current events on my page, normally on TikTok,
Yeah.
and so there's this thing that happened that's actually really just terrible. One sec, I'm bringing it up now on my phone. I have it in my images. Basically, a group of specialized like healthcare workers. They worked in like radiology. They found online better offers at another specialized hospital, and
Hmm.
so they all quit at the same time because they went to their admin. They were like, hey, we got these offers, can you match it? And they were like, ha, no, we can't, sorry, no.
Hmm.
And so they left, they quit. And so that same day, their former employer went and sued them, went to a judge, and that judge put in an injunction that's stopping them from going to work at their new employer for 30 days. On Monday, this is starting again, like they're getting more arguments, but as of right
Hmm.
now, they've already quit the last job and cannot work at their new job for 30 days. As someone working in the healthcare field, as someone who's literally a hero right now, saving lives, isn't that just like sort of closer to modern day slavery? Is like it's like a lot of like that's really bad. That's really
Yeah.
really bad.
No, it's terrible. Oh my God. There's literally
There's a
there's
GoFundMe
no
for them
rhyme.
right now.
There's no rhyme or reason for the healthcare system in its pay rates or anything. Like, I'm serious. Like, I work with people who have been at the hospital, at the nursing home, excuse me, that I work at, that are making $18 an hour, who have been there since 1995.
Oof.
I work for an agency that brings me outside. I get $28 an hour. There's other people who are standing right next to me who are working for other agencies who are getting paid $40 an hour. So it's like you just like
Mm-hmm.
everybody, and the fact that this employer, like, I guess I don't get that kind of shit because I'm a CNA, so we're a lot more expendable, whatever. So we're kind of moving around a lot because every single CNA has quit the actual job that they work at and have come back to work there for an agency.
Yep,
Like it's
I
so
followed
that's
that
crazy.
TikTok mini series that you did of basically you quitting, coming back, and doing the same job, and be like, I'm getting paid more for the same thing. What the
For the
what?
same
The
that
entire
happened.
time?
I left the job. Yeah, yep, yep. I came back with an agency to the same exact job, and now I'm just making three times the amount.
Northeast
And it
Wisconsin,
is
by the way.
that is modern day slavery. That's saying like so capitalism only works when you want it to work because you're saying like I should be selling my labor to the highest bidder, but if I don't, you're gonna go to a judge and tell him I can't work for 30 days. That is yeah. This whole yeah, I'm just saying the whole thread just goes right back to
Yep.
the fact that it's all about labor. It's ableism and it's labor, and it's just yeah,
It's beyond depressing. Right now, their GoFundMe, because they're right now the public is trying to set up like a mutual aid fund for them. They're in contact with a lawyer.
yeah.
They've raised $33,000 out of the 50,000 goal, and so that's good. At
Oof.
least the public's sort of aware of this. But literally, no,
Yeah.
the mainstream media isn't talking about this. This is all just sort of like word of mouth through social media. So
No, because you know, all these companies will do the well. You know, it's a non-compete thing. These are
mhm.
professionals, and it's in the same field. And yeah,
what
it's
what they're saying
they'll
in
use
court
the mumbo jumbo.
what they're saying in
Mhm.
court is that the other hospital poached them when they did not. They literally posted online, like, and were honest with the employees that reached out, like they like a normal job offering, and
Yeah,
like the employees secured their job and then quit, like normal people do. And so
yeah.
yeah,
They
it's
ask they
just
even reasonable enough to be like work with us. And I mean, they don't want people to unionize. Because they
literally.
were for a moment there unionizing without having to. Just be like, listen, there's a better paying person.
Hmm.
We're all gonna go there. No, all right, now we're in trouble.
Yep. Well,
Now we're in trouble.
I'm
Like yeah, like I'm being penalized for lying
yeah.
18 years ago.
I'm hoping the best for them and for you. One more thing I
Yes,
want to
no,
talk about.
no,
One more question because I've taken a lot of your time. I would love to have you back again though. I love these types of
absolutely,
talks
anytime.
with people that have a lot of insight um, about lots of different things. One more
Thank
thing.
you.
So right now, there's a lot of people going through the situation you and I have gone through. In their younger years, they're going through school right now. They're going through a pandemic right now. They're either undocumented or between statuses or have a temporary status. I'm on DACA. I have to renew every 2 years. You yourself
Mhm.
are, currently in limbo. What advice do you have right now for someone on the younger end of things trying to just live life right now, day to day? Because it is tough having to hide that part about you or not hide it depending on how you want to deal with it. Because depending on where you are, it's safe to do so. And in other parts of the country, it's not safe to do
Yeah,
so.
yeah. That is the thing that you know, I'm very vocal. I've been doing this for a long time. You know, I have a lot of privileges on my side that allows me to be vocal. But my advice to you is just find a community online, find, you know, like a TikToker or something. There's many ways to find it. I'm not just talking about myself, but you know, because I was so alone for a long time, you know, like my
I
parents
feel
never talked
that.
to me about it, you know, my friends all had their status,
I feel
so
that in my
I was like,
bones.
yeah, you know, so I never had anybody to talk to about it. And I was almost like lonely enough to think that nobody even cared about me
Dude,
or my
literally, like
situation.
it puts yourself you it backs you up into a corner because you think that society thinks that you're trash because of a label that isn't
Yeah,
actually like it's people aren't supposed to use it anymore, actually, like
yeah,
illegal. Like that's one of the
yeah,
terms I used, not used, I heard a lot.
yeah. Illegal, yeah, undocumented, and I hear it till like my 20s.
Yeah, yeah.
But because for me, like honestly, it wasn't even until I started finding TikTokers that were like, this happened to me, or this happened to me now, that I became even more vocal about my undocumented status. And I realized that all of you guys and girls and they
Hmm.
thems
Thank you.
were giving me the amazing you know, confidence to keep pushing forward. So for anybody who is young and just feel lost, like, you know, just saying find a community, talk to people, start off slow. Find one other friend who's undocumented. Trust me, you'll start being like, "Oh, my mom's like that. My dad's like that. I can't go out at this time. I can't go out at that time. I can't do this."
That is
And
great advice.
that makes you feel so much less crazy, you
Yes,
know.
that is great advice.
And I'm reading a great book called Mindfulness, which is about how meditation has been hijacked by
Oh
capitalism,
my gosh, yes.
and how how like you if you feel anxiety, you need to breathe, and you're the problem, and that's the problem. Like yeah, capitalists have hijacked it to make you
It's
feel like
yeah,
you're the
it's not your
problem.
environment. It's not the 9 to 5 that you have to work every single day.
Yeah. You know how you feel attacked by the government? That's all in your head. Just breathe and you'll feel less attacked. No, kids. The government is attacking you every day. You're not crazy and you need to find a community because there's strength in numbers.
Yes,
I'm saying literally just to talk to people and to share resources, you know? And
that is
then
how you
also
heal.
that is how you, and also like people ask me all the time, like, how are you so vocal about what's going on with you? And I'm like, to be real with you, is because I made so many wonderful friends being honest about my experience and having them share their experience with me that I know if anything happens to me, that I have easily 100 people who will sign a petition and say my name and just be out there loving and trying to get me out or try to get me safe, you know, and that makes me feel less scared. You know, it doesn't matter how, you know, I don't really have a family like an actual like biological family like my mom, dad, sister, like they're not in my life at all because of this, because they're very afraid of what I do, and that's been very lonely. But I have a partner also who's made me radical. She's taken me out of what I call my coon phase, and uh,
We all
and
have
then I
different
have
terms
all
for what we want to do.
yeah
I
yeah
literally thought I was white, like for the longest
oh
time. Like
yeah.
that's a deep place to be in, like where you're like just like I unconsciously made my voice higher for a long time.
Wow. That's funny because you tell yourself white. I thought myself literally as the good one. That's why I say like cocoon.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I'm gonna
Mhm.
be the good one. I'm
Mhm.
gonna be the good one, you know? So that's why yeah, just to give the kids a wrap up here. It's just
Mhm.
like literally just you have to find a community. You because you'll feel a lot safer and a lot less alone when you do.
Well, thank you so much for coming here. I would love to have you here for about 10 more minutes for like a behind one more behind the scenes like 10 minutes of like extra Patreon stuff where I ask maybe a couple of spicy questions. Um, but yeah, I'm going to be throwing up your socials here and just making sure that yeah, this has been really great. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you. Oh, of course.
I would love
Anytime.
to have you back on to have more talks like this in the future if your schedule is willing. But yeah,
Absolutely.
I plan to have more people like this just on and trying to have different intersectionalities to talk about and just yeah, try and bring forth some issues that are relevant also to that day if I can. But yeah,
Sure.
thank you so much for doing this. This has
Thank
been
you.
really great, and I would love to actually help you in any way I can. I am really good at editing. If you ever need any help with editing, I just do that stuff for free, just because I want to try and help out people. Um,
I really appreciate that. I'll definitely keep that in mind.
yeah, no problem. But yeah, so right now I'm gonna cut the recording short, and so this is gonna be the ending of this section, and then we're gonna do just 10 more minutes if that's okay.
That's perfect. That's